Hi grade 6, welcome to your next lesson of music. Today we're going to begin our journey into learning about all our different composers from the one era that we've mainly focused on, which is the Baroque era. Today we will be looking at a very famous German composer but whose life did not end in Germany. In fact, it ended up north with the Brits. We are going to learn about a little someone called George Friedrich Handel. So Handel was a German composer who experienced a lot of success with oratorios and operas back in the early day. But his first main noteworthy piece, because whenever we're dealing with these old pieces, we don't call them songs, we call them pieces. So things from Baroque, classical, romantic, we would like to call them pieces. So one of his first noteworthy pieces was water music. And there's an interesting story of how this came to be. So he was in Germany and he was working under the Elector of Hanover, who at that time was named George as well. So let's not get confused. We have a composer, George, who is the one we're learning about, and we also have someone who's about to be a future king, George, who is boss in Hanover, which is a city in Germany. So, George Friedrich Handel was working as director of music for the Elector of Hanover. But one day he gets a call, well, obviously not by phone, but he probably got a mail or someone who came to announce it to him, that the King of England wanted him to come and work for him in England. So, seeing the opportunity, Handel was like, what am I going to do? Of course I desire greener pastures. And so he left the Elector of Hanover, who was not too thrilled on his leaving. So out of a strange coincidence, but a very genuine lineage, a lot of heirs and a lot of people who were supposed to inherit the British throne ended up passing away. And he was in that bloodline. So he did not pass away. Eventually, it was only left for him to become the new King of England. So George Handel is in England. His boss was not too happy, not too thrilled about his leaving. And now his previous boss is the current king and his current boss. So they were not on best terms at this point in time. So the king one day, King George I, decided that he wanted to sail down the river Thames and he wanted the people to see him. It would be a good way for the people to see who their king was. And he wanted music to be played for him. So this was a good chance and opportunity for George Friedrich Handel to get back into the king's good books. So he was assigned to compose the music for that event. And the way it would be done was quite interesting. So the king would be in one boat and the musicians would be on a separate boat, but we'd call it a barge. So the king is busy down sailing like the King of England and the music is being played from a separate barge. So just imagine that picture, just in the River Thames, you see the King of England and musicians just following him by. So Handel was appointed to compose the music for this event and he thus composed water music. So water music isn't one piece, it's actually a collection of different pieces put together in a suite. Or a suite. And a suite is just a fancy way of saying a collection of music. And the king loved it so much, he wanted an encore 3 times. So it became the music for that evening. And because of that, Handel got back into the king's good books and they were reconciled. So let's listen to what the King of England was listening to as he was sailing down the River Thames to be seen by his subjects. And Handel was in a separate barge with his musicians playing the music that he wrote for the king. Have a look in the description below and listen to water music.